Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Michelle Saeed, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and these strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're thrilled to have Ifunanya Eze, the CEO and lead consultant of the Almond brand, joining us. Based in Nigeria, Ifunanya is a certified relationship coach and mental health advocate with a passion for healing hearts and fostering resilient family bonds. From her roots as a relationship coach with the Love, Dating, and Marriage Ministry to earning the Transformational Leader of the Year award, she's building the Almond brand into a beacon of hope, impacting over 400 individuals globally through coaching, courses, and her conference. We'll explore her founding story, how the Almond brand is transforming lives, and her vision for scaling this purpose-driven mission. So let's dive in. Ifanya, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you so much, Michelle. So glad to be here this evening. I'm really excited to share my insight on how I started the Almond brand and how it all just came together. So thank you so much for the invite.
I
Thank
love it. Well, let's kick things off for the listeners. We're so excited to have you on the show. Take us back to the beginning. What specific problem in the relationship coaching landscape, perhaps around broken relationships or lack of faith-based guidance, inspired you to actually found the Almond brand?
What actually made inspire the Almond brand would be, if I'm being honest, to be because of my parents. So people don't know about that, but I just was wondering why they could not understand themselves the way I could. So I just could see for my mom, see for my dad. I'm like, what is going on here? This is a simple communication issue, right? But then I did not know. I was just a child. So I just kept watching and watching until I came across a book, Why You Act the Way You Do by Tim. So I think people know that book, but I just was wondering, okay, so there's actually a book on how to know why people act the way they do. So I read it, and then that was when I found about temperament. I'm like, so this is actually a temperament issue. It's as simple as just communication, as simple as temperament. And if people actually just knew all about this, it will actually be very great. But then I was just doing it on the side, right? So just coaching, people will talk, they will reach out to me. I did not know it will actually turn out to be something like the Almond brand. I just thought it's something I just want to make sure that people understood themselves. But doing my service here in Nigeria, so there's a thing we do, we serve the country for a year.
Yeah.
And I stayed with a particular minister, I stayed with a minister, they call them pastors. And I was just, the same thing occurred. The husband and wife could not understand themselves again. And I saw that, hold up, this is not just in my family right now. This is a general thing that people don't actually understand themselves. And it was looking, in my eye, it was looking toxic. She will be speaking to herself. Her husband cannot understand her. He cannot understand. I was like, I can
Yeah.
understand both of you. What's going on here? So when I moved out of their house and I was alone, and I just talked to myself. I asked my friend, what do you think I can do? Everybody kept saying, you can coach, you can coach. Anytime you start talking about it, you're happy about it and all. So I just took time out, started doing a lot of research, and boom, I started the Almond brand.
Love that.
That was it.
What an incredible background in terms of really utilizing a lot of that personal experience, being there to actually help a lot of couples and really just people navigate relationships from the get-go, and coupling that, of course, with a lot of that guidance. Love to learn about, really, let's get into the nuts and bolts for our listeners tuning in. How does the Almond brand generate revenue today? What exactly is that core offer? I know you offer one-on-one coaching, there's online courses, there's conferences as well. How do you
Yeah.
primarily for your clients, such as the single people that come in, or even like the families?
Okay, for the singles, so there's a for at the moment we have a community where it's a free community, first of all, where singles can actually just come together to talk and share their minds
Mm,
about relationship, about coaching. Because one thing I found out was that people are doing life alone, and a lonely journey will lead to depression.
100%.
And once you are lonely and you're depressed and you want to now use that same mind to enter into a relationship, there's no how it will not fail, because it only takes whole people to actually build relationships. So if we have a free community where we just talk, you pour your heart, what this is it and all. Then if you are eventually intentional, now
Mm.
you have somebody in mind and you're intentional about building a life together, we'll take you to the premium coaching where just the both of you have to be in this together because one other thing I found that leads to divorce and all that, couples don't grow together. One person is more serious than the other person.
Yeah.
So the husband is advanced, the wife is not moving ahead, or the wife is going ahead, the husband is not catching up, and they are not understanding. They are speaking different language mentally, spiritually, emotionally. So
Yeah.
if you are going to be in the premium circle, you
Mm.
have both of you have to grow together. I don't
Mm.
want one person. I don't want a breach of communication because this is a big communication issue right now. So
Yeah.
there's premium coaching where the both of you have to actually take it for several weeks, step by step from the day you met. Because if you want to know how a relationship is going to break or not, ask them how they met. How
Mm.
you met is going to tell if that relationship is going to last.
Mm.
So we are taking you from how you met and
Mm.
preparing you also for the future, for the family. Because now that you already said I do, once you start having children, everything changes. Children
Yeah.
have a way of changing your life, whether you like it or not. So now there's a particular conference that we plan to begin this year, Raise Your Slaves Conference for singles,
Mm.
telling you that, okay, I know you're in love. It's a good thing to be in love, but you need to raise your sleeves. You need
Yeah.
to know that you are here to do the work. So that particular conference is just preparing them ahead that, see, you are going to do the work. Love is good and everything, but there is work to be done.
Yeah.
So we generate revenue through that means, because if you are really intentional about your relationship, you have to pay. You it will show with your money. It will show it to finance your investment. People
Yeah.
invest in what is really important to them, right? So
Yeah.
not so we're not telling you to just bring your money because we want to get money from you. We're telling you that if this is really what you want and you are intentional, then you are going to invest. So it's investment now, not just making revenue. You are investing into your marriage, you're investing into your children, because yes, if the children have whole parents, they will definitely be whole. Because if the parents are broken, just forget, those children will somehow be broken. So that's how we generate for singles. For now, we have not really gone deeply into marriage,
Okay.
because my focus for now and will be singles, those dating, those courting, because
Mm.
I found out that it's easier to help those that are already in the single phase than those already in marriage. So since, especially in this my generation, it's easier to bring them, and it's also easy. And I think I was meant for this particular moment, because when an older generation is talking, my
Yeah.
generation is there. You are very, we don't understand what you're saying. It was in your time, and but
Yeah.
now that I'm now communicating it from my generation, and I'm making them see, they're not paying attention. Okay, this person gets us. So I'm speaking from both my generation and speaking from the mistakes that the past generation make, and I'm
Right.
also talking about the things that we need to put in place so that the next generation coming after us does not go through the same thing. So I would say that the Amamba is a bridge between the future, the past, the present, and the future. So that's how we create review, by making them see the big picture, not
Mm.
just the now moments. So
Well,
that,
I love how amazing the way you described it is like really just like looking at the big picture, right? Let's start off having some of your clients engage in that free community aspect, figuring out, okay, are they intentional, like you said, about building that lifestyle? And then it's like we can get deeper, right? Into the more premium side, the more of that hands-on
yeah,
customization with the coaching. Now, really with a lot of our guests who've been on the podcast, they run very similar fulfillment models where it's one-on-one coaching primarily, and it's almost customized. It's really hands-on. It's almost like difficult to scale almost so that you're
yeah,
not pricing quality. I'm curious, like, how have you thought about scaling and productizing your offer while still keeping it effective and manageable? So, given that you're doing a lot of that one-on-one coaching, it's a
yeah,
development model that involves you wearing the hat, right? And
yeah.
being that main person. How are you thinking about scaling as you go into 2025? What are some ways that you're evolving your offer to where, from a fulfillment standpoint, it's not just like one-on-one coaching, you can actually focus on other aspects of the business as a
Yes.
founder?
So interestingly, I found out that I have it in for technology.
Mm.
So many people don't know that. So they just see the counselor, the
Yeah.
psychology, the and all. But at the moment, I'm actually doing my master's in cyber psychology.
Wow.
I found a way to, and I'm so blown. Like, it just wowed me that there's a course for this where I can put technology and put psychology
Mm.
together. So in this coming century, in this
Yeah.
21st century, and the way AI is just blowing our minds, right? So if I'm to talk about the future for the Almond brand in this AI
Right.
model, so what I found out is that since I'm in, because of my schedule, I'm not always available for so many things. But
Mm,
you can have AI assistant as a counselor.
mm,
Yes. So putting cyber now into counseling makes it a lot more easier, especially with the fact that now seeing how psychologically this is beyond just what we just see on a normal, and there are a lot of patterns that need to be broken down, and there's a way how CBT, that is cognitive behavioral therapy, have a way of just transforming their thoughts, their pattern.
yeah,
I cannot just wake up and say I want to change somebody's life without changing their thoughts
yeah,
that deep, right? But
mm,
now when I'm bringing technology into it now, I
mm,
can't now bring, I'm now telling you that, okay, if I'm not there, my AI counselor can actually
mm,
assist you.
yeah,
And if you are beginning to have these traumatic experiences and all, you can just chat.
yeah,
And funny as it, while I was still thinking about this, I decided to browse to see if there are other people that have also thought about this. And it was available. But
yeah,
in my own model, if I'm going to put that too, there's
mm,
other things that will have to improve
mm,
on the technology that have been built. And
yeah,
also when I'm thinking about the Almond brand, since it's not just something I just want to do because I want to make money, it has to be personalized.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, it has to be personalized. Your issue, even if I'm not there and it's the AI talking to you, should feel like it's Coach Ifunanya talking to you.
yeah,
Yes. Just at this moment, if I'm talking about the future concerning the Almond brand, it's actually a lot that sometimes I cannot blend it, take it at once because it feel like time wants to explode.
right.
But yes, I'll try to. That's what I'm currently working on how to just bring technology and make sure that it's available through, I'll call it our application. Yes, to
Mm,
be an application. If eventually it goes through, call it an
yeah.
application. Because, and I think that should be it actually. That should be it.
So really, I love that. It's really like how do we use technology to like personalize a lot of that experience,
Yeah.
that interaction when you're working with a client, right? And you're figuring out some of those ways to really streamline that process as you look at scaling and really growing the Almond brand. So now from an acquisition standpoint, would love to learn
Yeah.
a little bit about how you're generating leads right now. What are some of those channels, whether it is like LinkedIn, word of mouth, referrals? What's been
Oh.
most effective for generating leads for the Almond brand as you're looking at growing your customer base?
Okay, I think the most effective for now will be trends because when I look at it, I've tried several means, but I found out that trends actually work a lot, especially on Instagram. So it's not just about what, if you left for me, I have a way of just doing my own thing. I don't actually like following the crowd.
Yeah,
Once a music is popular, I may not want to listen to it. I'll wait till when it has gone down before I start listening to it. But I found out that if you actually want to catch the attention of who you actually call your audience.
yeah,
Trend, you have to know how to blend. You have no option than to adapt, no matter the
yeah,
personality. I think revenue does not answer to temperament style. I may be an introvert, but
yeah,
if you want to make change, you may have to let go of your personality to bring
mm,
leads, generate leads, and funds. Because whether we like it or not, even if it's fulfilling or not, funds, you need to generate revenue from this to make sure that it's now. Just imagine if somebody from a broken home
yeah,
comes to meet you crying and things are going on, and you are trying to help that person, and the
mm,
person does not have a job. They don't have, if you don't have revenue,
mm,
there's nothing you want to tell that person that will enter the person, that the person can listen to you. But by the time you tell the person, okay, take this money, start this business, leave that relationship,
mm,
it will motivate the person.
yeah,
How can you give somebody funds to start a business when the business itself is not generating? So it's a lot. And when it comes to getting leads, I think Instagram has been working so far.
mm,
Instagram has been working, and I think there's something about personal branding now. So some persons don't usually listen to just the brand, they know the Almond brand, but by the
yeah,
time they look at you, your personal branding has been working. Yes,
mm,
and LinkedIn also has been working. And by the time they see your portfolio and they see that okay, you have something to offer, that's when they can listen to you. Nobody listens to somebody that does not have solution.
mm,
So generating lead has been from Instagram. It has also been from the community itself.
mm,
And recently I found out how powerful community is.
Mm.
And I think every founder has to find a way of making sure that they take their community very serious.
Yeah.
It's more like a networking, how will I call it now? I'm trying to create a graph where one person tell one person. Just from communication from the group, somebody, please send me the link. Somebody needs to hear this. Please send
Mm.
me the link. Somebody needs to hear this. Please. And that was how the group kept growing to over 400. And I'm like, this is serious.
Yeah.
And it was not just for me posting, it's from a friend telling a friend that something is happening. There's somebody from our generation. There's somebody that understands us. So
Mm.
the community itself has been generating leads.
Mm.
Yes.
So from what it sounds like, it's a lot of leveraging social media, going on Instagram, seeing
Yes.
trends, leveraging a lot of the trends out there, even on TikTok, let's say, and then also the
Yeah.
networking side on LinkedIn. Would love to learn a little bit more. Let's say if I was to come in, observe a day of you generating leads, what does that look like more specifically on LinkedIn, on Instagram? What exactly are you doing? Is it like manual outreach, automated outreach? Are you doing anything as well on the paid advertising side of things? Walk us through really on the acquisition side, how you're actually going about really that process when it comes to like doing the outreach and generating leads on some of the platforms.
Okay, I think recently we started email marketing. Yes, because apart from the outside, I found that some quiet people just go through their emails and they read and they may not say anything, they may not communicate on the group, but email marketing has been. So if I'm to walk you down, let's say we have a particular program.
Mm.
Let's see, I'm preparing for, let me use the Children's Day program that just because I'm very particular about children. I'm like, if anything is wrong with children, everything just goes wrong, right?
Yeah.
So when it was, I knew that March was going to be for Children's Day and May 27 rather for Children's Day. A
Mm.
month before that, we've already prepared a flyer, the speaker that was going to speak, and we started using recent videos
Mm.
enlightening parents because our target was also for parents
Mm.
to see this because they are the one that were going to train these children. So we
Mm.
started sending out emails that were tailored to what they don't know because they train children on the particular style that they know. Nobody taught them. Personally, I had to let go of so many things personally because I found out that my parents did the best they can.
Yeah.
There was no blueprints for parenting. So they did what they knew. So
Yeah.
we started sending out emails to enlighten them on why this particular session was
Mm.
very important for them. So if I'm to do the same thing for Raise Your Sleeves conference I'm talking about, it's supposed to be in November, I'll do the same thing. But this time, I'll also have to make them see the reason why they should invest
Mm.
in parenting.
Mm.
Yes, because I did the same thing for the premium coaching and it worked
Mm.
by not just telling them bring your money is needed for this and oh no, but I
Yeah.
was sending out emails sharing experiences on why their relationship with was and it was very important. It's essential for them to invest into it. And I
Mm.
could see that even some men, people
Mm.
say that men are actually stubborn. From that premium coaching, I found out that there are some men that are actually intentional about building their relationship.
Yeah.
And it was funny how it in the reverse, it was them trying to bring their ladies to come and listen. And I'm
Mm.
like, I thought they said men were stubborn. But in this case, a man particularly told me that, see, I don't care how much it is. I
Mm.
just want her to come and listen to what you're saying.
Yeah. So from what it
Yes.
sounds like, of course, you're seeing a lot of traction with like men wanting to get involved with premium coaching. And a lot of what you're doing is like a lot of like manualized outreach, like email marketing.
Mm.
We have a lot of guests with very similar offers, like really psychographic audience. You're reaching out to like singles more on the B2C side rather than B2B. And
Yeah.
oftentimes with networking, building communities, doing a lot of like manualized outreach, even going on social media and doing organic, it's not always like the most predictive way to generate leads on a month-to-month basis. What are some ways that you're looking at building more of a consistent and reliable like lead flow so that you're having consistent conversations each month? Talk us through your thoughts on that. How are you navigating more so on that side of things?
I would say I'm still navigating it because I'm trying to see how we can, because whether I like it or not, we're evolving. Things
Mm.
are just, I'll wake up today and something new is just up. And I recently found, I think I read it in a podcast where we showed that thing like that.
Mm.
Stability, it's a key feature on its own.
Mm.
right? Whether founders like it or not, but stability is very essential,
Mm,
especially when it comes to making leads. So
mm,
if I'm to do that,
mm,
or if I'm to say in a nutshell, I would say that there's no one particular style of creating leads.
mm,
I think few drops of water, we actually make an ocean. So
mm,
I cannot stick to only email marketing and say it's only email marketing. And I cannot stick to only Instagram and
mm.
say it's just that, even if I use paid,
Yeah,
because the ocean is like there are just so many people with so many ideas.
yeah.
I can, and especially when it comes to relationship coaching, if you go to Instagram, everybody has something
Something,
to say,
yeah. There's so much saturation in this world.
so many things to say.
Yeah.
So if I'm to distinct myself from it, I think I'll have to also bring the God factor into it. I pray concerning these things that the
Mm,
message should just go to my audience, that the
mm,
Holy Spirit should just bring those that this message is for. If I'm being honest, I don't mind if it's just one person,
mm,
because I found out that just one person can change a family, and one person
mm.
can get married, right? If one person that has the right mindset get married, he can raise children that become soldiers with the right mindset, and it
Yeah,
blows. So
yeah.
right. So I cannot say that it's just only email marketing. There are those that just that do that, and I cannot say it's only Instagram. So we
Mm,
are doing both Instagram via my team. We are doing
mm,
WhatsApp because some people just use only WhatsApp.
mm,
Some persons use email. Some people Instagram. Some people LinkedIn. Some persons don't even like LinkedIn. And there's Facebook. Some
mm.
people go to Facebook. We have forgotten about Facebook, but Facebook has been an essential tool for the Almond brand, especially for those that know me from little and all, and they're like seeing what I'm doing. So Facebook has
Yeah,
also been a tool
yeah.
recently. Yes, it has
I was
been.
about to ask. I was like, are you looking at anything on the paid advertising side on Facebook?
Yes, yes, yes. Because I found out that it's not just going to be only my friends. I think there's a way social media works that is just to those that follow you and all. But
Yeah.
paid advertising has actually to bring those who have not heard about you.
Mm,
Yes.
yeah.
And even if your paid advertising brings them, your story and uniqueness will keep them.
Yeah, 100%. I love
Yes.
I love that. So it looks like you're exploring a lot of ways as well on the paid advertising side to
Yeah.
reach out to maybe like an audience that hasn't really seen what Ifanya does, right, necessarily, but how do you like
Yeah.
them up, create that messaging and start to generate that awareness? So what's like your approach to sales? I'd love to learn about some of those strategies, effective. If someone comes in through the community or they see on Instagram, how are you going about having those conversations to convert them into a paying client for coaching, let's say? What are you doing this on your own right now, having those sales calls? Do you have a team in place helping with the outreach or even the conversations? Walk us through how all of that is structured currently.
Okay, I think the first thing will be to let me use an example for you want to book a counseling session, right? And it's paid.
Yeah.
So once you reach out that you want a counseling session, you have to first of all book a clarity session for me to know what you're looking out for. So after a clarity session, and I know that this is what you want. So there are packages
Mm,
for different levels. Let's take trying to let's just take yes, dating and coach and cutting package.
yeah.
So you're going to choose if
Mm,
it's 5 weeks, if it's 6 weeks, if
mm,
it's 7 weeks, depending on what. So there are different prices for what you desire and
mm,
how deep your problem is. So some persons may just be 3 sessions, some persons it may be five, some persons is seven, eight. It all depends, and it's going to. So once you've decided that this is what you want to do, and we tell you that this is the amount you'll be investing in your relationship, and you decide, we issue you an invoice, and you decide, and since it depends on what you want, but you can also make installments, and
mm,
oh, but 70/30
mm.
because people are funny.
Yeah.
70/30. So 70/30, 60/40. And you show up even it for now it's actually virtual. That's the thing. Yes, it's virtual. So you show up like you will show up in a counseling room, and we are taking details from the very first day that you say hi, we are taking details to every single thing and
Yeah.
making sure that we are following up with it. But and also when it comes to revenue too, I'm an author.
Mm.
So if you want to also check out, because it's not everything that you can get in, I can just refer you. You may just need a book to help you. So you
Yeah.
can get a book on Seller or on Amazon for yourself and just read to just
I love
help you. Yes, to just help you. Yes, so that's another way. But and then there's, like you said, team follow up. Just
mm,
call and make sure that they're available and we are reaching out to other persons that may be interested
yeah.
in what we offer.
Mm.
Yes.
Love that. So it looks like you're leveraging a lot of different strategies, doing a lot of like that counseling from the get-go. If someone approaches you and they want to learn a little bit about, hey, what does that look like to be a part of that journey into finding love or like rebuilding relationships? And then also
Yeah.
giving them that clarity through the clarity session and then the book if they want to read a little bit more, find out more. That's beautiful. The fact that you're writing a book. I love the fact that you're doing so much already.
Thank you.
Now, your growth, from what it sounds like, it's incredible. If there was like a bottleneck or challenge that stood out to you, what would it be right now, given that you're wearing all the hats, you're doing a lot of the marketing, you're doing some of these sales calls right now? Is it attracting like the right types of clients to work with right now, improving maybe the conversions, actually getting them to commit to that discovery?
Yeah.
What are you most focused on solving to keep the momentum going and scale going into 2025?
I think let me start with a challenge. I would think it's consistency
Mm,
that is going to be, because some starts and don't follow up
mm,
because they get weary
mm,
that is not giving them the results that they want.
mm,
And disclaimer, this is something I usually say. The issue may not, it's not just my work.
mm,
You have to bring your own to the
mm,
table. So some of the challenges that people believe that counselors already have the
mm,
solution to
mm.
the problem. And
Mm,
that alone, an issue.
yeah.
Because I think I once I once counseled someone, and at the end of the session, the person was so angry.
Oh
The
no.
person, the person, not that, not, I will not, or will I use angry? The person was just disappointed. The person was like, "See,
Mm,
the answer that you gave me, I'm not okay with the answer."
mm,
And I was like, and it changed my entire counseling approach,
yeah.
because I tried to approach it in a way of, this is what I think is the issue. But
Mm,
I found out that it has to be collaboration. I'm not going to fix you.
mm,
Yes. So the
yeah.
main challenge is the mentality of that the counselor is going to
Mm,
fix you. So that's the main challenge. I'm not the fixer.
mm,
I'm just here to make you see what the issue is. And
mm,
for us to fix it, I'm taking you from point A to point B. I'm not going to leave you alone. We are not going to leave you alone. We're following you and all. But you must not. And the thing about counseling is that sometimes it may not go the way you planned in your
right.
head.
Yeah.
It may not go the way you planned. So that has been an issue. Consistency for them to start the session and finish. Because some may start and say that they don't feel like they are getting, how will I put it? Because what they had pictured. I think there was a couple. It was very unique for me because this couple started and
Mm,
the lady backed out. And she backed out and he could not continue because it's together. It was a couple counseling. Until
yeah.
today, we've not been able to get her to complete that session because it was making her to be vulnerable and she refused to get to that point.
So it's like how to actually get someone to really complete that transformation, right? Really,
Yes.
how do you actually get them to commit from the get-go even, right?
Yeah.
Understanding, what's the pain point, really like tapping in, getting them that realization, breaking through the belief system that change is necessary.
Yeah.
And that may start from, let's say, even like a sales process, right? Right from the beginning, right? How do you
Mhm.
actually, create that belief and want to actually change from the get-go rather than them going through with it, but then not wanting to actually commit 100%, right?
Yeah. What has now worked recently
Mm,
is that since I learned from these two experiences that I shared, that gave me it actually made me to start rethinking my career. But then, For the ones that eventually went through the premium coaching, I found that showing
Mm,
up was one of the key things that helped them to the end.
yeah.
That I showed up like, this is it. Your
Mm,
relationship must work, whether you like it or not.
yeah. 100%. No, I love the fact that you mentioned that.
So I took it personal that, see, the success of your soul and your relationship is in my hand.
Yeah.
But I'm here because I wanted to succeed, right? So I
Mm,
showed up, and from the sales points there, I made them to understand that your money is, yes, the money is good and you should make revenue, but people only pay when they know that you care. That is
yeah.
something I found out.
Yeah.
And they only show up when they know how much you care. Nobody will release anything to you until they know how much you care. It's like a psychological thing. So
Mm,
from the day that you make an interest, and
mm,
oh, we are not using the money to scare you away, and
yeah.
oh, we are just showing that this is how it's supposed to be and this is why you should do this. And
Mm,
as a way of making you know that it's more important to you, I think still working on it though, on giving like free resource on how, like a gift package that you can. I think
mm,
I have a team for it where I can just have ideas for gifts you can give your partner and give your
yeah.
parents and all.
Love
So
that.
putting free resources into
Mm,
this now
yeah.
and telling them that this I thought, and it works like I don't know. I
Mm,
was watching this and you came to my mind. Follow
yeah.
up. I was reading about this and you came to my mind.
So really,
So I think,
yeah. So it's essentially like you're nurturing them even before they're committed
yeah, yes,
on them finding out, okay, how can we actually nurture them first, really create that awareness from the get-go and
yes,
then make them feel as though they're involved in that transformation and they can.
yes,
Now,
yes,
I want to get a bit hypothetical, right?
yeah.
I ask every guest who hops on the podcast, like, if you had a genie in the room, Ifanya, right? Because I love your passion for like faith-based coaching and you're so passionate about empowering a lot of singles out there with cultivating relationships. But if you had a genie in the room, you rub the lamp, and now all of a sudden you have all these unlimited resources, what would you implement immediately to accelerate the growth of the Almond brand?
If I had a genie, it makes me remember Aladdin. So, if I had a genie, I think I would just ask for more connections to those in the decision-making rooms. Because if I had access to those in the decision-making rooms, it will
Mm,
lighten some of the burdens that I have. It will reach out to those that I'm trying to reach out to. Because whether people are bridges, somebody,
mm,
what I need may be in the hand of one person.
mm,
And so I think I will ask for access to those in the decision making room,
mm,
or somebody that knows somebody that can get me connected to the people that have been sent to. Yes, then I will ask for, I think, just for more on, I don't know if the genie can do that, but
mm,
I will just ask for the strength, actually, personally,
mm,
to be able to do more. Because
mm,
if I'm being honest, if this is just me being me, sometimes I just ask myself, are you not doing too much already? There are already people doing this.
mm. Yeah, just the strength
And
of you.
until somebody sends me a message and I like, yes, somebody sends me a message and like, please, I need to talk right now. Ask for grace, strength. Though the genie cannot do that, but God can. But
Yeah.
I'll ask for more encouragement personally that
Mm,
this is what we are doing. Then Genie grants three wishes, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Third, the third wish should actually be for me to, because it's really in my heart to be able to complete this therapeutic application that I'm trying to work on. I've been
Mm,
hitting a lot of, maybe because of time. But if I'm to do that, if I'm to ask, I'll ask for the genie to help me to create that application so that those I cannot reach out to, I'll be able to reach out to them through that. Yes,
mm.
and the genie should not worry about funds. Once that is okay, revenue usually come through that. So
So
yes.
Yeah, I love that. From what it sounds like, it's interesting. How do we get more in the rooms with decision makers, right? So that for you as an entrepreneur, you're able to really work with more and more people and create those connections, really cultivate those transformations from what it sounds
Yeah.
like, right?
Yes. And why I need to even get into the decision making because of some policies.
Mm,
I found out that you cannot change the world if you don't change some policies,
yeah, yeah,
especially in, I don't want to go really deep into it, but in my country, most of the things we are facing is cultural problem.
mm,
So if I can get to those in the decision to please just change some policies,
mm,
please help us with certain things so
mm,
that we can stop these cultural issues that are happening.
yeah,
We're already in 21st century. There are some things we should no longer be talking about anymore. I'm trying to do my job here, please. So please help
yeah,
me with changing these policies so that things can get better. And
yeah.
if it's possible, if I can find myself in that same policy room,
Mm.
that would be a very big deal for me to even be the policy maker.
Do you feel like, as a business owner, entrepreneur, where we talk about mentorship or finding new ideas, right, to create more of that outreach, you feel like this is a place where you're still navigating, trying to find ideas on how you can start to get into more rooms? Are you looking at different ways to do that? Walk us through that. Are you looking at new ideas to like bridge that gap, get into more rooms, figure out how can I actually work with as many more people as possible? What are your thoughts there?
Like you said, I'm actually still navigating. If I'm being honest,
Yeah,
I'm actually still navigating this particular phase because it has been a big dream
yeah,
for me. And I think I'm not getting to that stage where it should no longer just be a dream, or it should get into my hand.
yeah, yeah.
So at this moment, I'm still finding out what works for me,
Mm,
what works for the Almond brand, what works for my audience. So I'm trying to like have stability. I think Dr. Jacob
mm,
Nelson said that stability is a key feature, right? So
mm.
to just make sure that we have this particular system that works well, that even if Ifunanya is not present, everything falls and rises on system.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm still navigating how the system can be able to
Mm.
stay even without me, so that I can just travel to Korea for 3 weeks and not be present.
Yeah, so really, like, how can you start to create a business that scales on itself, allows you to really hit some of the goals, the dream that you want, right?
I think if I'm to do that, one thing that is to replicate myself.
Yeah, yeah,
I need to be able to train somebody that sees what I'm seeing. I'm not just somebody. I'm not just creating someone. I was telling someone that if I can have a robot that's I can just create another version of myself, I'll be at peace
yeah,
because the robot can be doing so other things, so many things.
yeah.
So if I'm to do this, it would be to really work on replicating myself, increasing manpower.
Mm,
Yes, I don't really need a robot per se. I just need somebody that's, or people, more people now that I'm talking about,
mm.
to catch the vision and be in several other states, several other countries, and the Almond brand is still flourishing because this person has it.
Yeah, yeah. And that could be like, from what areas of the business do you feel like more on the coaching side,
Yeah,
or more on the discovery side, like doing that intake, having a lot of those conversations from like almost like a consultative selling perspective to where they can actually ensure that, hey, this is a right fit before passing it over to you. Like, how do you envision like the scaling aspect of bringing more team members on?
multi members. I think it will be from, I think I need to know their goals. But if I'm also to bring more team members, I need to think about collaboration. Now,
Mm,
there are other experienced coaches and
mm,
specialists in
yeah.
this. And this is what I found out. Like, I just sat down with myself, and the Holy Spirit was like, there are people that are even looking for who will call them. You just need to take your time and just send this person a message. Message this person.
Mm,
Get. So there are also other persons that, apart from training now, especially if I do not have the time to train, which I should create
mm,
time for that to explore. But
mm,
collaboration and networking with other specialists in the field will go very far.
mm,
Actually, it will go very far because once people respect knowledge and they may not, some persons may not even know what this person have to say, but when they see doctor, professor, certified, it just change their mindset. People like big things, they like professional things, they like, so collaborating with other specialists will actually reach out.
Mm.
So yes, and even them, they will be also be able to hit their target with their own audience. Since I have a lot of interest and the Almond brand into different branches, the
Yeah.
Almond brand can collaborate with a child psychologist. The
Mm.
Almond brand can collaborate with a technologist to
Yeah.
tell other persons that, see, we are bringing technology into coaching. The
Yeah.
Almond brand can collaborate with family life specialists, with divorce specialists, and
Yeah.
also we cannot do it alone. It calls for collaboration with other persons. Even if I replicate myself, we still replicate collaborate with other persons to make sure
Yeah.
that we are making the world a better place. So,
I love
see,
that. Love that. Really just spreading the mission and bringing the almond brand more on the global
yeah.
stage in that sense. Now, as we do wrap up, for the listeners, entrepreneurs, founders looking to follow in your footsteps, what's the best piece of advice you would give to them about really community building and scaling a coaching business? Perhaps from your experience in Nigeria's coaching community or elsewhere, what would you say to them on one last note?
I would say, do you.
Yeah, I love
don't don't try to be like anybody. The sky is big enough for every bird to fly, right?
that.
So just, there are so many. I know you have mentors you look up to. I know you are seeing so many people do big things.
Yeah.
AI is making some persons skilled, they feel they may not be, they may be out of jobs and all. But one thing that will be unbeatable till the
Mm.
end of time will be your uniqueness. Nobody can do you like you do.
Yeah.
So find what works for you. Find your what makes your heart beat.
Mm.
That if somebody wake you up and asks you
Mm.
about this, you don't even need a preparation. This is what. So do
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And I know you want professionalism. I know you want revenues. But one thing that will make you stand out will be bringing your uniqueness into the coaching, bringing your uniqueness as a founder into it, and
Leaning.
just making, yes, making sure that as they're getting the vision with you, you don't lose your voice, you
Yeah.
don't lose yourself into the crowd,
Yeah.
especially don't allow naysayers to make you stop talking, because you are going to say a lot of controversial things, whether you like it or not. If you're
Mm.
going to be a founder, it means you are either starting something new,
Mm.
or you are renovating, you are
Mm.
just rebranding.
Yeah.
And it means you're going to step on toes.
Mm.
You cannot go far and think that you will not step on toes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you are going to make sure that you close your ears to naysayers
Mm. Mm.
that will try to say that you don't know what you're saying, or try to make you feel like you don't know what we are doing. You have to close, and you have to connect yourself with the people that when it seems like your light is dimming,
Mm.
when you are growing weary, they
Yeah.
can tell you are doing it. No
Yeah.
man is you are doing it. So do you
Mm.
close your ears, your eyes, your
Mm.
heart to naysayers. I think every founder should make sure that they hold their hearts so well,
Yeah.
because once your heart is affected,
Mm.
you cannot show up fully. So you don't allow anything to happen to your heart. Make
Mm.
sure that you close your ears, your eyes to naysayers. Make
Mm.
sure that you are surrounded with people that love you, that understand you,
Yeah.
and make sure that you find time to come back to you.
100%.
Applause has a way of making you forget yourself, especially
Yeah.
when you start scaling.
Yeah.
Now that things are working for you, make sure that you have a time to reflect. Come
Mm.
back to always have time to know, just have a self-reflection. What are we doing?
Mm.
Are we still working on the goal on how we started? Before we started with passion, are we still doing that? So
Mm.
have a time for yourself. Have a time to always go back to who you truly are, so that you
Yeah.
can come back, have high recovery moments, even when you have high achieving moments. High recovery moments should be as a peak. Yes,
That's
that should
beautiful.
be
Wow.
it.
What a wonderful way to end today's episode. Ifanya, I'm so excited to see the way you're going to grow the Almond brand going into this year. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your incredible
Thank you so
journey.
much for having
I
me.
love it. Your roots as like a relationship coach to founding the Almond brand. You're empowering so many individuals and families with faith-based transformative solutions. So we're excited to follow the journey along as you conquer and go into this year and find more connections, hopefully in decision rooms. So
Thank you so much.
to our listeners, if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also find some more resources and insights at closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth through trained appointment setters and world-class sales systems. If you would like to work with Ifanya and learn a little bit more about the Almond brand, we will link her LinkedIn profile in the summary below of this episode. And to all of our founders and entrepreneurs, as Ifanya had said, listen to your inner you, protect your heart, and keep climbing. And we'll see you all on the next one.